And showtime, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the latest episode of the ChannelPro 5-Minute Roundup. A look at news, trends, and tips for the SMB channel in 5 minutes or thereabouts. My name is Rich Freeman. I'm the executive editor of the ChannelPro Network. With me, as always, is my co-host, Eric Simpson, who is senior vice president and CIO of SPC International, a training and business improvement organization for managed service providers and other IT providers. Eric, what is that interesting location you're broadcasting from this week?
I'm broadcasting from my backyard in sunny Southern California, Rich. It's I figured we'd move locations a little bit, doing a little work inside my home office, so I thought we'd do it from out here today. And looks like you've got an interesting locale behind you as well. What's going on with you?
Yeah, this from my end, this is like the pirate edition of the 5-Minute Roundup here. I'm at a hotel in Miami for a conference. Wasn't able to get Wi-Fi in my room, so I found an empty conference room somewhere. I'm not really supposed to be in here, so they could, haul me away in cuffs at any moment. But for right now, I'm stowed away in a room somewhere and broadcasting from there.
All right. Well, we'll do a pirate broadcast today.
Okay. Well, let's dive into the news. And there's a pretty obvious candidate for the big story of the week. It was a pretty big announcement for any week, actually. And that is the merger, of Kaseya and Unitrends. Kaseya, obviously, giant name in managed services software. Unitrends, a BDR vendor, principally known for working with corporate IT departments, and especially in the mid-market and above kind of a space. On this broadcast just a few weeks ago, really, we were talking about a partnership between Kaseya and Unitrends, under which Kaseya introduced its first appliance-based BDR solution that was based on technology from Unitrends. And here we are, really, even I think less than 2 months later, those two businesses have decided to merge. And this is just the latest development in an ongoing trend. Late last year, of course, the story really of 2017 in the MSP world, the merger of Datto and Autotask was announced. And here we are with another major player in managed services software developing an even bigger, broader portfolio of solutions. Kaseya, as it's merged with Unitrends, will have RMM, PSA, and network management, endpoint backup, appliance-based BDR, security, a very wide portfolio of solutions. It's just more consolidation going on in managed services software and a further development in this trend towards end-to-end suites, and a further sign that the big names in managed services software believe that's what MSPs want.
Yeah, I tell you, I think there's a horse race between two of the most competitive PSA organizations, or PSA-based organizations. I know that we've talked a lot about ConnectWise and how they're creating a lot of these integrations so that a partner can basically get what they need from their ecosystem, so they're creating all these relationships with different vendors. And I see now Autotask, I think after the acquisition by Datto, I see the gauntlet being tossed down. It's kind of like, okay, now we're off to the races. We're going to compete and try to deliver the best offering of different services to try to attract partners and try to maintain the partners that we have now. So it's kind of I see this as the battle of the giants now.
Yeah, I completely agree. And after Datto and Autotask merge, we were basically saying it'll be interesting to see where this goes next, where the next shoe drops. Feeling the same way now, basically, and the name you mentioned, ConnectWise, is really sort of an interesting piece of this story, variable in this story right now. They have been militantly opposed to introducing their own BDR solution, their own security solution. They really want to focus on line of business software for MSPs and not get into the products that MSPs sell through to their customers. It'll be interesting to see if they stick with that strategy or if they're starting to feel any kind of pressure to follow suit on some of their competitors.
Right, and what I feel the ConnectWise strategy is being that single point, that single pane of glass that allows you to integrate all of the disparate. They may not be buying these services through ConnectWise or ConnectWise delivering them directly, but they're creating this ecosystem that allows all the vendors to plug into and now have that single pane of glass, visibility, reporting, and billing from from the partner's perspective. So it'll be interesting how as we watch Datto and Autotask strategy evolve and see if it it maintains that focus of kind of we're going to continue to acquire and merge and build and deliver these things ourselves, or to see if they dip in a little bit of both ponds, do some themselves and then also create those integrations. So it'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah, I completely agree. Lots of interesting moves afoot in the managed services world right now, and we have not heard the last of the storyline by any means. Well, let's move on to your tip of the week, Eric, and it has to do with every channel pro's favorite marketing technique.
Very good, very good segue. So, what I want to talk about today is the importance of creating a referral strategy. Now, we talk a lot about creating marketing strategies and what we're going to do to, to invest in ways to generate leads and fill the top of our funnel. But what I feel that a lot of partners neglect, forget, or maybe feel awkward about is having a strategy that goes out and asks for referrals on a consistent basis every single quarter from each and every one of their clients. And so I'll share a quick story. I was consulting with a client of ours last week, and we sat down and they had hired a brand new sales professional, and the sales professional, they're doing pay-per-click, they're doing email marketing, they're doing all the right things. But really, when I started asking about referrals and how the when I understood how well loved this partner is by their clients, I said, well, how often do you receive referrals? Oh, we receive referrals pretty often. I said, well, what's your strategy for doing that? Oh, well, we don't ask for referrals, right? We have clients that just give them to us, because they love our work. And I said, well, wait a minute, and let's talk about that for a second. So we went through an exercise when I asked, okay, let's list every single one of your clients, and let's go A and B clients, and we listed them all. And then I said, okay, how many referrals do you think you could get from this particular client this year if you went and asked for them? And the first one, he said, oh, probably 10. And I said, what? He says, oh, yeah, these are the clients that give us 5 or 6 referrals anyway, and we're not asking for them. And I said, okay. And we went down the list. And I think I came up with like 27 referrals that they could get from now till the end of the year. And of course, the sales professional over there is like, antsy, going, well, how can we do that? And, it was kind of this, well, I kind of feel awkward about asking for referrals. And so we talked about the reciprocity that we can bring an approach to say, listen, let's talk about, referring each other business, right? So let me ask you, Mr. and Mrs. Client, what is your perfect prospect look like? And give me those details. And immediately, because we used to do this, in our MSP before we sold it, we would ask, what's your perfect prospect look like? And we would go in and we would come back with 2 or 3 referrals a quarter for them. And then there was this exchange where there wasn't awkward. It was us helping each other build our business. And so I want to make sure that, the viewers understand that if you're not doing that, don't feel awkward about it. Don't feel shy about it. Don't make it about, well, should I pay them a commission? Should I do this? No, give them an in-kind, structured, stronger business relationship by bringing them referrals as they're bringing you referrals. And I think that just builds stronger relationships and, of course, grows opportunities. And, I expect you to close every referral. So don't say we close 100% of our sales when they're all referrals. I expect that. So go after it and get those referrals and build some more revenue.
It's interesting how often I hear, and I don't even do the kind of consulting work that you do, obviously, but I do talk to a lot of MSPs, and it does seem to me sometimes that there's this sense that referrals basically are a passive marketing mechanism. You're waiting for the phone to ring, you're waiting for somebody to be referred to you, and it's almost a revelation sometimes for MSPs that you can ask, and should have a program for asking your customers, satisfied customers who like the work you're doing for them, ask them for referrals. Do you know anyone in your industry or elsewhere who might benefit from what we do?
That's right, exactly. And one other point that I want to make, when you're just waiting to receive referrals, this is where you have very little control. You may get tossed into different verticals you're not familiar with, and then you feel beholden to your client that referred you that business, and now you're kind of in a sticky wicket. So what I say is, listen, let your clients know exactly the ideal prospect that you're looking for, and be strategic about it. And that way, you have a little bit more control about what kinds of referrals you're looking for, and give them some guidance, just as you're asking them for guidance to find those referrals for you. Otherwise, you get referrals that don't even make any sense. And like I said, you may even lose money, feeling bad that your client's referring somebody to you that you're not going to make a profit on. But because of the long-standing relationship and all the other things, you almost feel like you're required to take those. So take control of that, and be strategic, and help build each other's businesses together. I mean, hey, if you got 20 clients and you get 3 referrals a year out of each one of those clients, holy cow, that's real math right there.
One of the messages we pretty consistently deliver to MSPs is you really shouldn't be relying exclusively on referrals for marketing. But to the extent that you are relying on referrals, do it right, basically, and be proactive about it. So, great tip. And that leaves us time for just one more story for this week. And quite honestly, Eric, I don't know if this is funny or sad, but it's something that I only just became aware of this week. It's a phenomenon called Snapchat dysmorphia. Are you familiar with it?
Well, when you introduced the topic to me, earlier in preparation for this, for today's webcast, or today's 5-minute roundup, I had not heard of it. I had only heard of like the odd folks that want to be Barbie, right? And do all the. But anyway, I don't want to step on the humor. Go ahead.
This is sort of a weird version of those people who go out wanting to look more like Barbie, because this is people who want to go out and look a little bit more like themselves, in a sense. Snapchat dysmorphia is the name that has been attached to a phenomenon in which people like the way that they look on Snapchat a little bit more than the way that they believe they look in real life. They like what the camera does for them, and they're going out and having plastic surgery performed to make themselves look more like their Snapchat image.
Right, their Snapchat avatar, if you will, which, bless their heart, right?
Yep.
That's what they feel they need to feel, to feel fulfilled. Then, more power to them. But, I'm not, there's nothing that can help me. So, no amount of investment in plastic surgery is going to get the results that, I would want. So,
Yeah. No, I hear you. I don't look any better on Snapchat, so I'm certainly not going to invest in plastic surgery to get more like that.
Very well.
Well, that is all the time that we've got for this week's 5-minute roundup. Thank you very much for joining us once again. If you'd like to keep up with the show and know about future episodes so you can tune in, please subscribe to the ChannelPro Network channel on YouTube. If you want more of the great content of the kind that we're talking about in the broadcast here, there's good new stuff going up every day on the ChannelProNetwork.com website, so check that out. If you want to know more about the work that Eric does and what he can do for your business, you're going to want to check out consulting.spc-intl.com. That's consulting.spc-intl.com. So that's our show for this week. We will be back again next week. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week. Eric and I are enjoying the rest of your week already.